Guys, hey, welcome to my channel. This is Life with Lisa. I'm Lisa. To all my new viewers, welcome. I hope you like the channel. To all of my original viewers, welcome back. Because I definitely missed you guys. I definitely did. Today we're going to be making cinnamon buns. Homemade cinnamon buns. Yes, it's labor intensive. Yes, it's a long process. You don't need a bread machine. I'm doing mine in a bread machine. If you have a hand mixer or, like with the beaters, handheld mixer, or even your stand mixer, you could do the dough in there as well, and that's fine. But the ingredients are essential. If you like cinnamon bun, I promise you will not be disappointed in this. This tastes just like cinnamon bun, and there's a lot of recipes out there, but I promise you, if you try my recipe, you will think it is like top-notch, one of the best, and it tastes just like cinnamon bun. Two things. One, there's a secret ingredient, which is in the frosting. And then the second thing is your cinnamon. I use a lot of extra cinnamon. And it's the quality of cinnamon. I don't use McCormick's, which is a good cinnamon. I use a grade AA, and I actually get it online at Penzies. And I used to go into Cinnamon Bun and get their cinnamon. Not the one that you could sell like in a little, like McCormick's cinnamon. But they used to take it right out of their big tub and give me like 2 cups. So anyway, but the ingredients are essential, and so is it butter. You have to use butter in your filling and in your icing. That's what makes it gooey. So stick with me, and I really believe you will like these cinnamon buns, and they're very well worth it. Okay, I mean, they're fattening too. Yeah, so you won't be making them every day or once a week, but for like Christmas or a special occasion, and it's very well worth it. And yeah, I promise you, it will taste just like cinnamon bun. Okay, guys, so as I said, I'm just going to go over some of the basic ingredients and explain why I use them. And I promise you, I truly believe if you use butter instead of margarine in the one part of this recipe, in the filling part, it's not going to be as gooey. You're not going to get that melt factor. And I'll explain it as I go through. I use, for this, only King Arthur unbleached bread flour. I think it's a top grade flour. I think it's one of the best flours out there. And there's several other products out there, but that they make, but I love the unbleached flour. What else did I want to say about that? When you're looking for flour, do not use, when you're making some of your baking stuff, especially like the cinnamon buns, cinnamon rolls, do not use cake flour or general purpose flour or self-rising flour. The amount of protein in a 1/4 cup, which is 30 grams, should be 4 grams. So for every 1/4 of flour, when you're looking at flour in the store, for every 1/4 cup, there should be 4 grams of protein. The protein is extremely important. You need the protein. You want the protein. And that's a high amount of protein. The flour should also include malted barley flour. It should have malted barley flour in there. And select the flour that has not been bleached or bromated. I think, and there was one other thing I want to say. Oh, make sure it's high gluten. This one here is high gluten. It's hard red spring wheat flour, and I think that's best. Okay. Is a tablespoon of my Vital wheat gluten flour. I use a tablespoon, which is our yeast. Hold on, guys. Okay. They stopped making the one I used to use. I used to use SAF Perfect Rise Gourmet Yeast. They stopped making that. Long story short, you could buy, and it came in a package envelope like this. For a substitute, you could use this, or you could use a tablespoon of this. I'm going to go this way today. Okay. Make sure you look at that expiration date, and you got to always respect that expiration date when it comes to yeast. You have to, because you'll waste all those ingredients because it won't rise correctly. What else do I want to say about it? Instead of using, like I said, the 1/4 envelope, you could use 1 tablespoon of this, which I'm going to do. I put mine, when I'm done using this, I store this in the refrigerator. But they're delicious. If you like cinnamon buns, from, Cinnamon Bun, right? You will love these. I promise you, they taste just like cinnamon bun. There's a lot of recipes out there, but I promise you, this is a winner. You will love this recipe. It tastes just like if you walked in. Anyway, so let's talk about vanilla. I'm not using vanilla extract. I'm only using vanilla flavor and lemon flavor. This lemon flavor will be going into the icing and just a hint of it, like 1/8 of a teaspoon or even a little bit less. This is for me my secret ingredient. Where everybody else uses vanilla and maybe powdered sugar, you know, etc. with the cream cheese, with or without cream cheese if they use it. I always put in lemon. Always. Makes a big, big difference. That is what helps you make it taste like cinnamon buns. You know, from Cinnabon. This, I use only the vanilla flavor and not extracts. Okay, and there's no alcohol in them. That's why I use them. There's no alcohol in this. And I feel when you use the alcohol in the icing, it doesn't come out as fluffy. And believe it or not, it's the little things like that that do make a difference. So again, when you're making your icing, do not get vanilla extract, get vanilla flavor instead. No alcohol. Guys, as far as the egg goes, this is an extra large. If you're going to use a large egg, one large egg, you have to put in at least 1 tablespoon of milk. So if you're going to use a large egg, add an additional 1 tablespoon of milk. If not, just use 1 extra large egg. How do you do? That's what I'm going to do. Oop. And you guys, you have to be careful of your water, your tap water. I'm going to only use bottled water because there's chlorine in tap water. And that's going to mess with the gluten and become it all nice and elastic. And that's what you want, right? You want it to go all fluffy. And sometimes chlorine kills that yeast. And it prevents it from getting, it prevents you from getting the end product you're really looking for. So if you want, use bottled water. Or if not, if you use tap water, let it sit out for 24 hours. That will help you. I think I said because there's chlorine in the water, and that's what's going to kill your yeast. So if you let it sit for 24 hours, you won't have that problem. Okay. For the dough, because I told you guys, if you watch my channel, when I cook or bake, I only use salted butter. Only use salted butter, and I don't adjust my salt in my recipes. But for this recipe, I use unsalted butter. I don't even know what brand this is. It's just that I don't use it other than just for this here. And I only wanted 2 sticks. And I'm only going to use 1 stick. And if you are going to use, if you do have salted butter, that's okay. Just cut down the salt in the recipe to 1/4 teaspoon. Again, try to use unsalted butter. And if you can't, that's okay. Use regular butter. Just cut down by 1/4 teaspoon in your recipe. And that's fine. For the margarine, this is the part that goes in my icing. Again, this is no salt added. This is margarine. I use Blue Bonnet. And I used to have an argument with my husband because I thought this came in a blue package one time. And I thought it said no salt, but it doesn't. But anyway, so this is what I'm going to be using there. And let me just explain what you can and cannot do with the butter and the margarines. If you do not have butter and margarine on hand, you can substitute, and you only have margarine on hand, you can substitute the margarine for butter in the dough. I'll say that again. If you don't have both butter and margarine on hand, you can substitute margarine for the butter in the dough, and that will come out fine. But you cannot substitute butter for the margarine. You cannot substitute, you cannot take butter and put this in your icing and for the margarine. I mean, technically you could, and that's fine if you do. That's up to you. But it will not be the same. You will not get that, you definitely will not get the same results, for sure. That's a fact. And the finished product won't be that really melty, gooey, stretchy, delicious, melty icing that you see at Cinnabon. So definitely use margarine. What they would use too is a little bit different in color. Okay, and I don't know why, but they do use this, and I'll explain the cinnamons. And this makes a world of difference. You don't want to use something like McCormick's. You could, and listen, please, I'm not saying you can't use McCormick's, or you can't use, oh my goodness, there's so many different brands out there. Use whatever you want, but I'm just saying for authentic, and that's the way I go, I use this. Because this is a time consuming, and there's a lot of steps, and there's like downtime. So when my dough is cooking in the, or proofing and doing its doing in the bread machine, I'll be working on something else. And we'll be making a coffee cake today. Homemade coffee cake. I just wanted to be clear about the cinnamon. When I say macara, This is what they use. It's just that it's a brand name for them. But right here, because I can't pronounce this word, Koronite, whatever that word is, that's what it boils down to. That's a different type of cinnamon. And I've used different cinnamons. We experimented with different cinnamons, and this one comes out the best. And you can order that definitely online. And it's grade AA. And again, when you're looking for cinnamon, you want it to be grade AA. Okay. And I mean, you could do your own, or it comes from Indonesia. Well, excuse me. It comes from Indonesia. You could do your own research on it. But you definitely want that one because that's better than all the rest. Guys, here is the superfine sugar I was talking about. Right here it says, oh, can't look. Right here it says superfine. Okay. And again, if you don't have it, don't go crazy. Just use regular sugar. I just want to explain one thing. And listen, if you want, you can leave me a comment and I will write it out for you and I will go into even more detail. If you don't have a bread machine, like this is going to be, I'm using a bread machine. And again, I can give you more details than what I'm going to say really quickly. Just leave me a comment and I will give you step-by-step instructions. Basically, if you do not have a bread machine, that's okay. You can still prepare this recipe. You could use a hand or a stand mixer. Okay, again, you could use a hand or stand mixer instead of the bread machine. You would put all the ingredients, now again, these are going to be heated up. You would put all the ingredients into a mixing bowl, you know, as they're listed in the recipe. Because they have to go in that order for sure. Because of the yeast, the sugar, and the salt, you got to. If you're kneading by hand, you're going to mix all the ingredients well in a mixing bowl. Then you're going to turn it onto a floured board. They knead by hand for about 5 to 10 minutes until the dough is nice and smooth and like a nice elastic. Okay, it's gonna look like a rubber ball. It's gonna be smooth. It's gonna be elastic. You gotta work it by hand for like 5 to 10 minutes. And then you're gonna form it into a nice little ball. You're gonna place it into a greased cover bowl, and then you're gonna cover it. And you're gonna let it rise for about 45 to 60 to even maybe 70 minutes until it doubles in size. You're gonna do that in a nice little warm toasty place. And then you're just going to go on with the regular, once you're done, then you're just going to follow the regular recipe. That's how you would do it by hand. I'm trying to think. Oh, and if you're going to do it in a stand mixer, I think you guys, you know, we have the paddles for that. After you're mixing all the ingredients, you're going to put you're going to knead with the dough hook. You're going to put the dough hook on, you're going to put it on a low speed, like speed number 2. And you're going to do that for about 5 to 7 minutes. You're going to do it on a low speed. I don't have mine right here to show you, but there's a number 2. You're going to put it on number 2, and you're going to do it for about 5 to 7 minutes until the dough, again, is smooth and elastic, like that rubber ball. And then you're going to form that into a dough. You're going to form that dough into a ball, and you're going to take that and put it into a greased bowl, spin it around. Okay, make sure it's really well greased, and then you're going to cover that, and you're going to allow that to rise. You can do it room temperature. Sometimes I cheat a little bit. I'll put the oven on 200, but let's just focus on, you're going to do it at a room temperature room. And you're going to do that until that double in sizes again. About 45 to 60 to even 70 minutes. Try not to peek and uncover it. And then you're going to proceed as the recipe unfolds in front of the camera. So I'm going to do mine in a bread machine. So now you have 3 options. You got the bread machine right here. You have a stand mixer or a hand mixer. Not everybody has a stand mixer. People have, the stand mixer is the one with the big bowl, like a KitchenAid, has that big bowl. This is your typical hand mixer. You could use this as well. All right, and again, if you want more directions or more step-by-step, just let me know. It's very important. And again, I'll do a video just about different yeast. What's the difference between rapid rise and the instant and this and that, and the bread yeast, and why you can use one for the other, but you can't use one for another, because it gets very confusing. But I forgot to mention, if you're doing it by hand, you have to use instant yeast. Instant yeast if you're using the hand mixer or the stand mixer. You have to use your instant yeast. You follow all the directions, but just use instant yeast. And if you're using active dry yeast, you have to proof it in about a half a cup of water for about 10 to 15 minutes with 1 teaspoon of sugar before adding to all the ingredients. Let me say that again. If you're using a hand mixer or your stand mixer, you have to use instant yeast. If using active dry yeast, you have to proof it. You proof it by putting it in a half a cup of warm water, not hot, about maybe 110 degrees. And I always test it on the inside of my wrist, like a baby's bottle, okay? Old fashioned, you could use a thermometer, but hey, it's old fashioned. You want it to be maybe a pinch warmer than what you do for a baby's bottle back in the day, okay? And so again, you're gonna, it's gonna be warm water, not hot, because you will kill the yeast, but a nice warm water, a half a cup of warm water, and you're gonna put your yeast in there along with your sugar, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and you're gonna let it sit there for 10 to 15 minutes. It's gonna get all thick and it's gonna bloom. It's gonna get all puffy, and you'll see, and it's amazing. I love it. All right, bye. If you're doing it by hand, you have to use instant yeast. Instant yeast if you're using the hand mixer or the stand mixer. You have to use your instant yeast. You follow all the directions, but just use instant yeast. And if you're using active dry yeast, you have to proof it in about a half a cup of water for about 10 to 15 minutes with 1 teaspoon of sugar before adding to all the ingredients. Let me say that again. If you're using a hand mixer or your stand mixer, you have to use instant yeast. If using active dry yeast, you have to proof it. You proof it by putting it in a half a cup of warm water, not hot, about maybe 110 degrees. And I always test it on the inside of my wrist, like a baby's bottle, okay? Old fashioned, you could use a thermometer, but hey, it's old fashioned. You want it to be maybe a pinch warmer than what you do for a baby's bottle back in the day, okay? And so again, you're gonna, it's gonna be warm water, not hot, because you will kill the yeast, but a nice warm water, a half a cup of warm water, and you're gonna put your yeast in there along with your sugar, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and you're gonna let it sit there for 10 to 15 minutes. It's gonna get all thick and it's gonna bloom. It's gonna get all puffy, and you'll see, and it's amazing. I love it. All right, bye. Guys, I'm gonna put my light on. What I did was, you know that big bag of King Arthur flour? I emptied it in here because it's easier. When you do this, because you're not gonna want this packed, you're just gonna fluff it, put your hand in there, fluff it up a little bit, okay? Get some air in there, just fluff it up, because it's very dense right now. Just fluff it up, just like this. Just getting some of that denseness out, just a little bit. It's just so packed. Okay, and when we measure bread flour, we don't pack it in. My hands are dirty. Let me just get a knife so I can show you what we're talking about that we don't do. Okay, when we do the flour, we don't go top, and pack it in and scoop it off. That's too much. We're just going to scoop it in, okay? And that's it. That's what you're gonna do. I just want to show you step by step what I'm doing. I melted 1 stick, which is a half a cup. A half a cup is 1 stick. 1 stick of unsalted butter. And hold on. And here's my flour. We just got done with the flour, right? Okay. There's the flour. It's 4.5. This is 4.5 cups of flour. Okay, so now I'm gonna add, before I add that, hold on. Let me just rinse my hand off, hang on. Okay. Let me get something to dry it. Okay, so now in this cup here, I have 1 cup of milk plus 1/4 cup of bottled water. Again, the chlorine aspect. If you're going to use tap water, I suggest you let it sit for 24 hours. Otherwise, you take a chance of killing your yeast. So now I'm going to add the butter to this mixture. Actually, you could keep it separate. You could just, this has to not be, this part is not 110 degrees. This is about between 75 and 85. degrees, which again, that's more like your true baby bottle, so you don't burn the baby's mouth. You know, when you do 110, it's a little hotter than a baby's bottle. It's like a baby's bottle, but just a little bit warmer. This is more like a baby's bottle. So anyway, you could keep it all separate. You could just mix it. So now I'm going to cool down the butter because I let it cook a little too long, melt a little too long. Put it right in here. And that's it. So now I'm going to stir that together. And then I'm just going to add this right into my bread machine, and I'll show you all the steps. So we're going to start doing that now. I have to remelt it a little bit because the milk was not room temperature. All right, so let me go remelt this a little bit. Guys, please excuse the other clutter in this area here. I just have a lot of cooking to do. So anyway, we're going to start putting the ingredients in the right order. This is the right temperature. So I'm just going to dump the water of the milk. There's 1/4 cup water, 1 cup milk, and 1 stick of butter melted. I'm going to put that in. That looks a little hot because I have my air on right now. And I think it's the steam because I tested it and it's fine. Next, we're going to throw in my egg, which I beat. Okay, we're going to throw that in. Let me get something to do that. Okay. Got that. Put this in the sink. Then we're going to start adding my vanilla flavor, my salt, my sugar. So vanilla flavor. Okay, so here is my 1/4 vanilla flavor. I'm gonna probably take just that little pinch out. My hand's a little shaky because my sugar is a little low. So put that in there. I'm gonna get my lid. Next, we're gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So let me measure that out. Okay, do it over the sink. So I'll spill it. And if you were using salted butter, this is where you would use 1/4 of a teaspoon and cut back a little bit. There's your salt. Okay, that was a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Next, I want my tablespoon. We're going to be putting in my flour, my sugar. A 1/2 cup of, this is superfine sugar. Again, you could use regular, doesn't matter, it's up to you. A 1/2 cup. Just pushing it all around. Okay. You want to make sure your little paddle in the bottom is securely in there. Okay. Next, we're going to put the flour in here. This is the 4.5 cups of flour. Okay, I'm going to do it differently because I don't want to lose any flour. Okay. So now let's see if I can dump it in there without spilling it. Yeah. Okay. Let's see, just get it all out. There. Next is going to come my Vital gluten flour. Let me cut it open. It says there. So let's. I'm going to be using a tablespoon. Let me flatten this out a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Okay. Let me even that off. One tablespoon exactly. You don't gotta mix that in. And then we're going to do the yeast. You can use 1 package of the yeast or this I showed you. That's 1 tablespoon. So we're gonna do 1 tablespoon. Hear that pop? That's good. That's what you want. It's fresh. Okay guys, let's get this in here. It's the 1 tablespoon. Okay. Just go in here like that. Now I'm gonna put it on my, I'm gonna put it into my bread machine. I'm gonna put it on the dough cycle. And if I'm gonna peek at it after the first couple of minutes. If it looks too dry, I'll add a little bit more liquid. If it's too wet, I'll add a little bit more flour. But it should be just perfect like Goldilocks. Guys, this is it, my number 26 for my bread machine. And I have an hour and 50 minutes. And it's on need 1. Okay. Guys, I thought this was important to say. I went to put my yeast away, right? I use this one. See where it says instant yeast right here? But it says rapid rise. Again, I'll do another video where I show you about yeast. But don't get confused with active dry yeast for bread machines. This is totally different. Okay. And then now we're going to work on the filling part. It's going to be simple, simple, simple. It's going to be 1 cup of brown sugar. I use light brown sugar. Okay, I'm going to use, for me, the key ingredient is a lot of cinnamon. So I think some recipes may be 2 tablespoons, maybe even 3. I use 5. And 1 stick, which is a ½ cup of margarine. Unsalted margarine. Again, margarine is what's key. Do not use butter if you're looking for an authentic, traditional, gooey, stretchy, melty icing like you get from Cinnabon bun. Okay, you need to use margarine. Okay, so here we go. Okay, guys, I threw in here the 1 cup of really packed, you can see this, packed brown sugar. You could use a pastry cutter, but I'm going to use 2 forks and just boom, 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 like this, okay? Like this. I'm going to cut it in like that. You could definitely use a pastry cutter. Now I'm going to put in 5 tablespoons of cinnamon. You may think, oh my God, Lisa, that sounds like a lot. Trust me, so it makes a big, huge difference. Try it. You will like it, I promise. I'm not even using a knife to do it. See? It's kind of a little, I wouldn't say heaping, but it's not level. 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. All right, now the margarine does not go in here. The margarine, once the dough is done, I'm gonna roll it out in a 15 by 24, and then I'm gonna take 1 stick of the margarine, which is a ½ cup, and smear it all over, other than a 1-inch border that's gonna be by me. Because you know, you got a rectangle, right? I'll show you on the mat later. But the closest part toward me, toward my belly, I'm gonna leave a 1-inch border. Everything else is gonna have the margarine. So let me get to cutting this in. And you want this to be really mixed in well. Really good, not just like, okay, this is it. You gotta really cut it in there and mash it. So I'm gonna go work on this. Just so you know, sometimes I do it this way too. Like I'll mix it. I'll put the 2 forks side by side and just really mash it, mash it, mash it. Mash it in. Okay. Guys, and this is what it looks like when you're done. Let's zoom in. Okay. I don't know why my camera doesn't want to zoom in too well. Let me zoom out. Okay, but it's all mixed in. So now we're just going to wait for the dough, and I'm going to start the coffee cake. And I'm not going to clean up this mess because I'm going to be doing the coffee cake right this second. So I'm just going to scoot things over. Please excuse the mess today. And let's get to it. Guys, here is my dough. Look how beautifully it did rise. Okay. Guys, this is 15 by 20. Here is my beautiful dough. Oh, I just love it. Let's see. It just got done. I'm going to show you how beautiful it is. Okay, I'm going to put the pan down. But this is beautiful. Just beautiful. Let's just tuck that back in there. It was from the hook. But you can just see, look at the elasticness. Look. It's a beautiful, crispy, airy dough. And what do I mean by crispy, airy? Because the inside is going to puff up and have all those beautiful air pockets. And it's going to be so airy to bite. And the top is going to just get that nice little crispness. All right, now let's start to roll it. It's a beautiful dough to work with. Now, I've never done it this way in front of a camera, but okay, hang on. I need 2 hands, so I'm just gonna roll this into a beautiful rectangle, and I'll be back. But the dough is beautiful. Look at that. Oh, nice and light and airy. Let's see if we could do it this way a little bit. Usually I do it on my table, but this is what you would do. Just back and forth, and it rolls beautifully. It's not like a pizza dough where it's gonna spring back. Let's see. And this is it. You're just gonna keep doing this. So I'll work on this and I'll get back to you. Hey guys, I just wanted to give you a quick peek and you can see how it's coming out. It truly is a beautiful dough to work with. It really is. And it stretches beautifully, and the elastic, you got it going on in here. So I'm going to finish up and bring it out to the corners now. Okay guys, here we go. I can't even see if I'm filming. Hang on. It is. Okay. Now, you could use a spatula. I'm using my fingers. Here's the border. Later I'm going to roll it. Here's the border. I'm not going to go 1 inch down. Everything else is going to get the margarine. You could definitely use a spatula, but I personally prefer my fingers. And this is a little chilly. Hold on, I got to ask Ken a question. Ken, shall I shut the air off? Because I got to proof this. And my margarine actually got harder.
Well, you want me to shut the air off for me?
I don't know. All right, so anyway, this is what you do. You're going to put a layer of your margarine. You're going to leave this inch, because normally I would be standing on this side. My stomach would be here. I'm going to leave a border 1 inch. I'm going to roll from here toward me. And everything else is going to get the margarine. You go to the edges. And this, using margarine, is what's going to give you that gooiness you want. Okay. So I'm just going to work with this. Continue smearing this in. And then I will show you what it looks like. Okay. I'll be back. Guys, here's that brown sugar mixture. 5 tablespoons of, well, I don't want to say heaping, but you saw me, I didn't level them off. 5 tablespoons of good cinnamon and my brown sugar. Okay, now we're going to go up to the border. You can't see the border, I don't think, but I'm just going to go like this. Do every square inch of this, okay? So let me work on this. And then I'm going to take my rolling pin and first my fingers, and then I'm going to roll it in with my rolling pin. I'm going to do my border first. And this is going to be a thick layer. This is the gooiness. It all melts beautifully. Okay, I'm going to work on that spot. So I'm going to go do this and I'll get back to you guys. I'm just going to pat it in first with my hand. Key to this is you know when people sometimes make cinnamon buns or apple turnovers or apple cinnamon buns, they just sprinkle it on like that and have all this plain gaps. You don't want that. You don't want to see dough. This is a thick layer of brown sugar and cinnamon. This is where you get your flavor from. If you want to taste like cinnamon bun. All right, so I'm just gonna press this in. Left my 1-inch border. I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna take my rolling pin and, but I'm gonna stand in front of it, and just gently roll it in, press it in, oop, gently. You just gotta work it in because it's a thick layer. And I'm gonna just go around and do this all on the other sides too. See my border down here? Okay, that's the 1-inch border I left because when you wrap it, you're gonna land up with this. You're gonna roll from up here. I'm gonna start from way up there and tightly roll it toward me. And then that's gonna be my clean border. Okay guys, we're gonna just keep rolling. But just so you know, there was a few little mini crises taking place. So my dough actually has sat here on this spot for about 4 hours. And it's ice cold. So I'm just hoping, and like I said to Ken, I just hope this is not all for naught. And, I hope they do rise. Because, this is very cold. It's ice cold, actually. Because I keep my air conditioner very cold. It's like 64 degrees. That's how I like it. So, all right, I'm just going to continue. You can see it's coming toward me. Tightly wrapping it and pulling it toward me. Just like this. Just like this. Okay. Let me pull this up. And we're going to cut off the edges. Like, I'll show you. Let me finish this. Okay, and we just pinch it and press it. This is where we want a clean edge. Okay guys, excuse the mess. I cut the ends off and here's the ends. And that just comes on the ends over there and on the other side. It's 24 inches. Let's see if I can bring you out a little bit. Okay. It goes up to 24 inches. Okay, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go every 1.5 inches. We're going to start over here. I'm going to go every 1.5 inches, let's see. And I'm going to do our marking. So, hold on. Pull that down. So right here, I'm going to do a little marking, and this is where I'm going to cut it with my, you could use a serrated knife, but I like dental floss. And you would slip it under here like that, crisscross it, and just poof, like that. I'll show you. Okay, let's do another 1.5 inches. So 1, 2, so 4. You straighten that out so it's accurate. Wait, hold on guys. So that one. I'm trying to think why the hell that is bigger. I didn't want you to know that is 1.5 inches. So here's my other. Okay. 5, 6, 6.5. Okay, so we're gonna go like that. Okay, and I'm going to do that all the way down every 1.5 inches. I'm going to put a little knife mark. Guys, hold on real quick. I'm going to show you. Hold on, we're on the calling my doctor real quick. Okay, you slip it underneath, okay, your dental floss. Bring it up like you're going to tie a shoe. Crisscross it, okay, and then just pull tight. Boom. There you have it. Perfect. And I'm telling you guys, delicious. I really don't know if these are going to work. I said it to Ken like I said it to you, that this is ice cold. And too many hours went by. So, I think I may have to do it again. I don't know. I'll let you guys know. But let's do it again. And I marked it up here. You can see the little knife marks. Okay. You're going to take your dental floss, almost like you're going to do your teeth at night. Slip it under. Okay. Bring it up. Do a little crisscross and pull tight. Ah, like that. It comes out so much cleaner, and I just love it. Okay, want to do one more? Should I zoom in a little bit better? Okay, let me move this one. Like you're gonna floss your teeth, wrap it around your fingers, slip it underneath. If you have to lift it, you lift it, shimmy it over. Sorry guys, that's my low sugar alarm. So crisscross it and pull tight. Voila, look at that, beautiful. And we'll do one more, what the heck, right? So around your fingers, like you're gonna do your teeth at night. Slip it under. If you have to lift it, lift it. Hold on, I do have to lift it because it's stuck in here. Okay, there we go. Crisscross it. You're gonna tie your shoe. If you have to pull it up a little bit more to make sure it's on the line, definitely do. And pull it like that. Perfect. Oop, not so perfect. Okay, perfect. And that is it. And I'll do the rest. I say you're gonna have 15 rolls. And I'll show you a pan. This is the pan. It's an 8x8. Oop, let me move it here. It's an 8x8 brownie pan lined with parchment. I'm gonna put 5 in each pan. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 in the center to make 5. Guys, listen, at the end of the day, if this comes out correctly, which is supposed to, and I've never, ever, once in, 30 years, never had these come out correct. Never. But what you want at the end of the day, you're going to line this with a towel, and you're going to let it rise in a warm place, out of drafts. And right now, I can feel my air conditioner blowing on my back, and on my neck, and on my arms. So, this is definitely ice cold. But anyway, neither here or there, but what you want is at the end of the hour, you want these all to be touching. They get so big, they touch. They like double, sometimes almost triple in size, and that's what you want. And it helps get that gooey sides too. Yum. Okay, guys, no, that was inside. I'm sorry, guys. Now here is the icing part. I'm going to put in 1 stick of margarine. Okay. The only time we use butter in this recipe is inside for the bread, the rolls. I'm going to put in 1 stick of margarine, and then I'm going to do 4 ounces of cream cheese. Okay, this is an 8-ounce package. I'll cut it in half. I'm not sure if they sell 3 or was it 4 ounces. But anyway, long story short, the key to this is I only have my hand beaters here. I do not have my stand mixer. This takes about 45 minutes or even longer if you're patient and you sit there and you just let it beat. You can walk away if you have a hand mixer. Stand mixer. If you have a hand mixer, pull up a seat or sit on the couch, plug it in, and watch something on TV, and the time goes by quicker. But anyway, so first we're going to just beat this together. If you have a stand mixer, you would put it in your flat paddle. And you're going to beat this for about 60 minutes on slow. I think that's like, what, 65 RPMs? After that, then you're going to put it in that whipping paddle. The one like if you're going to make homemade whipped cream. And you're going to put that on for about 10 minutes at a medium speed. I think it's like 150. I have to check. But anyway, so it's a lot of it's a lot of beating. So I'm gonna be doing it by hand. So probably for a couple of minutes longer for each step. So this one, you know, so probably altogether, say 12, maybe about 20 minutes. I'll do it by hand, just mixing the cream cheese and your margarine. Okay. So guys, all I did was take that cream cheese, slice it right down the middle. Now I'm gonna go beat it. Same thing. I'm gonna do low for about not 6 minutes, for about 8 minutes. Like a low medium. Then I'm gonna do for 12 minutes, not 10. Like a medium high, because obviously hand beaters are different than a stand mixer. Guys, I just wanted to show you what this looks like after 6 minutes, not 8. 6 minutes with a hand beater. Then I have to do for another 2 minutes, increase it to like medium high, and do that for like 12 minutes. You have to be patient with this. Do not rush this process. This is what's going to make it light and fluffy, and I promise you, oh so gooey, and you will love it. If you love cinnamon bun, you will love these. I promise you, you will. Okay, now this is what it looks like after beating it for altogether like what, 20 minutes or whatever it was. I'm just going to show you on a knife how creamy. You can see what this, you can see how fluffy this is. Look at this. It's just so fluffy. It looks like whipped cream, doesn't it? Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to throw in altogether we're going to be using 1 3/4 cup of powdered sugar. I'm going to do 1 cup for 1 minute, and then on medium, and no, low, and then I'm going to do another 3/4 cup for a minute. Okay, so here's the 1 cup on low, and I'll do this for a minute, and then we're going to add again our extracts. It's not extracts, or flavors. Vanilla, and I'm telling you, no more than an 1/8, please. Even a little bit less, but you need a lemon flavor if you want this to be, you know, spot on. That is your secret ingredient, is that lemon. Okay, so I'm gonna go do this, and again, it's alcohol free. Okay, yeah. Okay, guys, here's my again. It's gonna be my, let's do the lemon, just lemon flavor. I don't know why that's doing that. Just went into the icing, right? Huh. I have no clue why it's doing that. But you can see it. There you go. Okay. So let's get 1/8. I'll show you. This stuff is very strong, so make sure it's level. See? That's it. That is it. Just got that last little drop. So we're not making lemon, and you won't even know what it is. But with that vanilla, it's that little secret ingredient you want. All right, let's do a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay. Okay, let's do this. And again, this is only flavor. Here we go, a teaspoon. For a minute on low. Actually, I want to do it on medium. Okay. Guys, what a perfect flavor. It is so good. And you can see, let me stop for a minute. See? And when you put this on your cinnamon buns, oh my God, it just melts and it's so gooey and it thins out. Perfect. Guys, the icing's done. I'm going to leave it. And then when the muffins come out, I'll probably just give it a quick little mix. Let's go look at the rolls. Guys, I put one in the oven because I thought I was recording, and I was not. I was actually recording my floor. But anyway, they did puff up. Now mine, oh, guys, I'm sorry, I gotta take that phone call. It's the doctor. Is it not the doctor? No. All right, so the one I just put in the oven puffed up the most. You can see this, you can see they're touching. This is what you want. You want them to touch. You want them to touch. They did puff up, but they did not puff up to double the size that I would like them to be. You know, this one puffed up better than this one. But don't forget, I kept mine in a 64-degree, ice cold air conditioned room with the vents blowing right over me, and I was working with this, and the dough just sat there for hours because of those little hiccups today, you know, like medical problems. So, this is the result, but they're still going to taste delicious. They're going to still rise in the oven, but they could be a little bit bigger, a little bit puffier, guys. But they did come out, so I'm pleased. I'm very pleased because I didn't think they were going to do anything, but they did, so we're pleased. And they're going to taste amazing. Okay. Just say you're going to bake them, not in a convention oven, because then you would have to lower the degrees to like 310. You're going to put these in about a 330, set your temperature to about 330 in a regular oven, and you cook them anywhere from 13, 15 to even up to 20 minutes. You want this to be golden brown and soft, but yet you need the insides cooked, okay? You want the insides definitely cooked. And I'll show you what they look like, because I've been making these for 30 years and still, because I'm working with the oven where I think it needs to be calibrated, but you know, it's a little sometimes touchy. Okay, bye. Here they are. Now listen, again, if they didn't sit in an air conditioned room for hours and ice cold, they would have puffed up a little bit more, but this is the color you want. You want them just to be a soft, pale, not even tan color. You have to be so careful because I think you could get away with another minute. You could, another 60 seconds. Anything more than that, then you're going to risk overcooking them. These are going to come out a nice pale color, a golden pale. Okay, this started bubbling in there. You could do another minute, but I'm happy with this. My other ones, I'm doing it for the extra minute, just so you can see the difference. So let's get some icing going on these. Okay, I'm just trying to pretend I'm going to do thirds. So we'll just use a little bit now. Put a big dollop on these. It's going to melt right in. You want it to drip all down the sides. Okay, just like this. I'm going to use this a little sparingly now, just to make sure I have enough to go around. And look. This, I promise you, is so yummy. It's going to all melt and get ooey and gooey. And I'll show you later the stretch in the inside. But, yeah. And you know what? These reheat nicely in the microwave. You put them in for about, oh geez, 10 to 15 to 20 seconds, depends on your microwave. And, it's delicious with it. See that? Oh, wow. Yum. The cup of coffee. Push it around. You want to definitely in these crevices. For sure. Yeah. Okay, this is good for now on this one. I'm just going to play around with this a little bit more. Make sure I get every little corner. Okay. Okay. If there's more, once I do the other ones, I'll come back and put extra on. But these are delicious. Yum. Okay. And I'll open them up. Here's the second batch that came out of the oven. Again, these did, obviously, they did rise, but they usually get twice as big. I mean, they're like oozing out of the pan. That when you put the icing on, it drops out of your pan. So, they did rise, but they could have definitely rised more. Anyway, this one I cooked 17 minutes. I'll put the icing on. Okay, so I'm going to take some more of the icing and get it going. Okay, just like this. And Ken's in the background. Ken, why don't you say what you truly, truly think of these?
It's undescribable because they're even better to me than the ones you get at Cinnabon. But they're addictive, and I hate when you make them, even though I love them, because I can't stop eating them.
Everybody says that.
You can't. Once you have, you want more.
They are addictive. They really are.
They're just so...
The flavors are so good. See how that just oozes down? Love it. Yum. Okay, I gotta keep some for the other ones. Okay. This is it, guys. I still have to show you the other one. See how that's all melting? Look at that. Look. Can you see it's still moving? Yum. Okay, I'm going to finish this. There's a little bit right here. And then I'll get back to you. I'm going to do the third batch, you know, without on camera. You don't need to see that when you store these. And then I'm going to open it. You can just see how melty this is. Yum. Okay. You want it in a pool of this icing. Okay, let me put this here. I'll show you one more time. Yum, yum. Oh, look at that icing just ooze. Let's see if we can zoom in. Oh. Okay, guys. They are good, and you all know what they taste like too, huh? Guys, this has been sitting in the cold air conditioning room. Let's take one apart. Okay, let's pull one apart. Okay. Put that right here. You can see that. Hold on. Delicious. Hang on. We're going to break into this. Oh my God, it's good. Wow, is that good? Okay, now
It's hot.
I'm going to show you the inside. Wait, hang on. See? All that yumminess and all that gooiness. Delicious. I have another video where I just showed you a little itty bit of it, but that I did last year, but without the recipe. This is, I promise you, delicious. See the inside? Okay. Hold on. That's what the inside looks like. The dough part. Okay. Guys, it's good. Can you try this? That is good. I don't want to swallow hard on camera ever again. But try that. Oh my God. Look at that. It is so tender. It melts in your mouth.
Great as always.
And that cinnamon. Perfect. The icing is spot on. It tastes like cinnamon buns, and my hands are disgusting. I'll have to go clean them, but that is so good. Does that sound disgusting? No. Guys, I apologize. I'm going to get off camera because they are that good. Bye.